Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of r/slash entitled people. In today's episode, is my friend that got fired the entitled one? Prove that you injured your leg? Sure. Entitled middle schooler stole my pencil. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. Is my friend that got fired the entitled one? My friend has been working for his family business for the past 16 years. 3 or 4 years ago, my friend's siblings and cousins took over the family business. My friend has no ownership in the business because he is adopted and therefore not entitled to ownership. Also important to note for later, my friend is black while the family is white. The business is in the construction field and to me has this old school toxic mentality. There's a lot of yelling, put-downs, and racism by management and between employees. Anyways, my friend has dealt with this for 16 years and last year finally decided he was done with being yelled at, put down, and dealing with racist comments. He started putting a stop to it and standing up for themselves. Unfortunately, my friend was then fired for having a bad attitude. He literally had a coworker call them an asterisk gay and was told by his siblings and cousins to just be the bigger man and let it go. And when he refused, that is when he was told that wasn't the right attitude to have and was fired. Then to make matters worse, they threw out all of my friend's belongings that were in his work locker, including $200 work boots. There was no courtesy text asking him if they wanted any of it, which I could maybe understand if it wasn't a family business and he hadn't shown up in a while. My friend wants to go low/no contact with his family now, but his siblings/cousins don't understand why he's upset and give him grief for not coming to family events. They tell him they're family and need to stick together. I understand I'm only getting one side of the story, but is my friend entitled for being upset? He believes that if they truly believed they were family, then they shouldn't have fired him over his attitude. Update for anyone who cares. My friend appreciated all the kind words and validation. He started working at a competing company, and he says the difference in his work environment is night and day. He now realizes just how messed up his family business was and can't believe he stayed there so long. If he was legally adopted, and this is a family business, he actually does technically have a right to ownership in it, so I tell him to lawyer up. I usually roll my eyes when people say, get a lawyer, in Reddit, but OMG, this guy needs to at least meet with a lawyer. Why then didn't the family stick with him? They showed him no loyalty whatsoever and then expect him to? This may be out there, but it makes me wonder why they adopted him in the first place. To have a worker that they owed nothing to accept a paycheck? I think your friend is far better off going and see with that bunch of racist user jerks. I'm not a lawyer, but if he can, he should take them to small claims court for the value of the possessions they tossed. He is not family. He is an indentured servant. NTA. With family like that, who needs enemies? That's 100% illegal and racial discrimination/profiling. Heck, I'd allow him to inherit the business regardless of if he's adopted or not, because adopted means he's still their kid. Tell him to sue them for what you've said here and tell him to sue them in civil court for racial discrimination. Prove that you injured your leg? Sure. In my country, we have a tradition that when we finish elementary school, we jump into a fountain and splash around. I managed to mess that up by falling and injuring my leg. When I looked at my leg, blood was seeping through my sock. My leg hurt for days, and I avoided walking and standing. Another thing you need to know is that bus drivers are not gentle with buses at all, and buses are falling apart and rattling. So riding the bus while standing is very painful. Now, the story. I'm going to my friend's place in the suburbs, and the driver decided to use the entire speedometer. When I entered the bus, it was empty. So I sat in a seat that isn't really for older people or people with special needs, but it's not the narrowest either, just enough space for my legs. After 20 minutes, the bus became crowded, and at one stop, this woman entered. Americans would call her Karen, so I'll call her that too. Karen was around 50 years old, and as she was looking for a seat, she noticed me, probably because I was the youngest. The conversation went like this. Karen, you young people never give up your seats for older ones. Me? I would, but I injured my leg. Karen, excuse. Get up now, or I'll force you. Me? I'm not lying. My leg really hurts. It hurts even when I sit, let alone when I stand. Karen tried to pull me up, but I weighed 75 kilograms, even though I didn't look it, so she couldn't budge me. Karen, prove it. Me? What should I prove that I'm injured? Karen, yes. Me, okay. I took off my shoe and sock, which was incredibly painful in front of the whole bus, and also because I pulled it off abruptly, a scab came off, and it started bleeding. The whole bus fell silent, except for a woman talking on the phone. Me, are you enjoying watching my feet? She got off at the next stop, I don't know if out of embarrassment, or because it was really her stop. I just told the onlookers not to ask me anything and put on my headphones. I got off the bus a few stops later and, walking like a zombie, reached my friend's place. My sock was even bloodier by then, but it was worth it. Edit. The foot wasn't at that bad shape. I made full recovery in 2 weeks. It was just really painful first week. Incident happened one day after fountain incident. Who gives a shit about Karen? Are you okay? Ha, sure, I healed after 2 weeks. I have a mark left after few years, but I did even more stupid things with even more brutal injuries that I am surprised I am alive. When pole that was holding a swing fall 2 centimeters from my head, my brother didn't even blink because he know that I will be okay somehow. The moment she laid hands on you, that's battery. I remember when I was in kindergarten, it was recess time, and for some stupid reason I wanted to get on the swings. Well, a smart kid would have caught the swing or waited for it to stop swinging, but little me ran to the swing and knocked a bottom tooth out. Entitled middle schooler stole my pencil. This is a story from when I was in 7th, maybe 8th grade. I was reading another Reddit post and made me think of my story. This is extra long for no reason. My apologies. I lived in a pretty diverse city growing up, still do. All through school we were all pretty friendly to each other. We never had major cliques or direct bullying, no racism. Everyone was typically pretty cool with each other. My graduating class was about 300 people, with the ethnicity makeup being somewhere along the lines of 45% Hispanic, 40% Black, 10% white, and 5% Asian. Not that it matters, but we were all different and no one was singled out for being different. This is about me and a fellow classmate. We will call her Autumn, because that was her name. This girl and I had a similar group of friends. Our group of friends had at least one, or more, people from each ethnic background. All females. Now Autumn and I didn't hate each other, but I think there was some girl-on-girl rivalry ever since we started middle school. Autumn liked the boy that liked me. That boy, name changed, and I were great friends. Now I didn't know it, but had a thing for white girls, me, while Autumn was Asian. This is where it really started. I eventually stopped talking to because he never understood the friend zone. No matter how many times I expressed to him, it was only a friendship. By this time we were playing sports. Autumn and I, and our mutual friend group, all played the same sport. I grew up poor. Damn near everyone on my team had a phone. I did not. Each day, I would ask someone different in the friend group to call home for a ride. Each day someone in the group would let me. I was thankful, except Autumn. If she didn't actually have service on her phone, or if she genuinely did not want me to use her phone or what, but she would always deny. So I stopped asking her. Until one day after practice, it was just her and I in the pouring rain. We were both waiting for our ride, though my parents typically forgot about me or made me walk 2 miles home. For a 12 to 13-year-old female, that's kind far. By no means was it Autumn's responsibility to make sure I was able to call home or make sure that I was getting home, but I needed to ensure I wasn't forgotten about, and she once again denied me of using her phone. So I waited and waited. She got picked up, and then it was only me waiting and waiting and waiting some more. I walked home that day in the cold pouring rain. I actually caught a cold from it. I had to take time off from my sport. Once I was back on my feet again, I was back into my sports and thriving. Sports are what got me through my childhood. Anyways, I came back after a week and applied myself to the sport and my team again and showed out for us. Meaning I beat Autumn at our event in sports. Afterwards, it got really bad. I would see her whispering and looking at me but never talking directly to me. My other friends began to call me stupid and other mean names. I decided those were not the friends I wanted and removed myself from the group and made new friends. With the exception of a few from the old group, I was fine without them, but we all still had classes together. One day, a friend from a completely separate group traded this really awesome blue glittery pin-looking mechanical pencil for a pack of gum, the currency of children. I love this pencil. It was my pride and joy. It was my favorite color. Indeed, no one else in the whole school had anything that even compared to it. I remember Autumn asking me if I would trade it with her for something, and I told her no. Then she proceeded to ask if she could buy it from me. Again, no. 1. I love this pencil. 2. This girl was so mean to me for no reason. Why would I do something nice for you? I won't. This is the one thing in my life, at that moment in time, that made me feel not destitute. While everyone had their phones and nice shoes and the markers that smelled good that I could never afford, I had this. This one pencil that made me feel like $1,000,000. Everyone wanted it, especially her. I made sure to carry this pencil with me always for this very reason. I knew she was sneaky. Eventually, I couldn't carry it with me to the bathroom due to issues with writing on the stalls, and I did not want to be seen as a perpetrator. Well, one day we were taking a test in algebra and I had to pee. So I waited until I finished the test and a few others as well before I asked. I did this so I could specifically ask another friend to watch my pencil while I was gone. Algebra was my last class of the day, and I didn't want to miss the bus when leaving school. Friend said she would keep an eye on it. I came back to class with maybe 10 minutes to spare before the release bell. The pencil was gone. I asked the friend about it, and they said it was there, but then when I looked all around my desk and in my bag and everything else, it was still not there. I decided to take it as an L, even though I was so disappointed myself and my friend. But it was a pencil, not the end of the world. Until about 2 weeks later when Autumn showed up to school with my pencil. Oh, look what my mom bought me. I don't know where she got it, but isn't it so cute? I was red angry. She was showing it off to everyone, and it was as if everyone forgot I had that same exact pencil 2 weeks prior. Now, yes, she could have gotten the same one from the store, but I have a few reasons as to why that was debunked. 1. The friend I originally traded it with got it from a vacation spot with her family. 2. It had bite marks on the end from where I chewed it. 3. It had a line engraved down the side of it, which I did with a razor blade. Now, I didn't have any proof she stole it, but I knew it was mine. So I didn't report her to a teacher or anything. Plus, it was close to the end of the year, and we were all getting ready to move on to bigger and better things, high school. I figured life would have a funny way of showing her who she is. Just wanted to share this story since it came back into my memory. If you're Autumn and you see this, I hope karma got you. Funny enough, there was this girl around the same time in my life at school who I did hate, and she hated me. We are good friends now. My so-called best friend stole my prized personalized pencils in 4th grade. I am 52 years old now, and I still want to slap her silly when I run into her with her grandkids. I know I'm going to feel this way forever. Some things you never forget. Such a stupid white girl comment to claim there was no racism at their diverse school, and then make sure to mention the race of their enemy, which had nothing to do with the story. The boy that unwittingly triggered this teenage tragedy only liked white girls, so it is slightly relevant. If you made it to the end of the video, Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and we will see you in the next video.